Hey, what's going on, guys? So I just want to jump on here for a really short broadcast today, but I want to go over some stuff. I want to help you distinguish the true signs in the heavens from the false signs, because I told you guys earlier that uh, we'd went over the book of Zephaniah and how they're worshiping the host of heaven, but I want to distinguish between Nibiru and the true host of heaven that are mentioned in Corinthians chapter 15. All right, but first I want to go over this story and I want to read you something from Revelation 12, okay, because we got a sign here, a true sign. NASA imagines the dragon on Mars is a sinuous scenic canyon. And you're looking at an image of it right here. So they found this canyon on Mars. It looks like a Chinese dragon. Combine an active imagination with an image of Mars, and you may spot a shag carpet, a Star Trek insignia, or even a Pac-Man on the red planet. The team behind the high-rise camera on NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter imagined a dragon. The high-rise team shared a view of a canyon on Mars as a picture of the day on Saturday. We rotated this image of light-toned blocky material in southwestern Melas Chasma because from this perspective it resembles a fabled Chinese dragon. The high-rise site run by University of Arizona pointed out a series of small valleys near the bottom of the image. Several of the light-toned deposits are seen only in the valleys, suggested they were either deposited or exposed by erosion, the team wrote. Melas Chasmas is one part of the massive valleys Marinari Canyon system located along the planet's equator. There's evidence of both water and wind action as modes of formation for many of the interior deposits, NASA said in a 2017 release about Melas Chasma. Alright guys, so I'm taking that as like a Revelation 12 sign, so I just wanted to go over this, and then I'm going to go over Nibiru and link that to Acts chapter 7 for you, okay? This is, that's the famous chapter in Acts where Stephen speaks out against all the idolatry going on in Israel, okay? But first let's look at Revelation 12 here. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, okay, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto God, and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. And then it goes on and it talks about the war in heaven, guys. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels, and prevailed not. Alright, guys, the dragon's not going to win. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. Alright. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice in heaven saying, Now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our God, and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, and by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto the death. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Alright guys, so I'm not going to read the part about the war on earth. I wanted to cover that, but I want to link this to Nibiru and give you guys some insight, because all these Nibiru people, what they're doing is they're mirroring the true host of heaven, okay? So they claim that Nibiru is a binary system, with 7 stars. Okay, so you see how they're mirroring God's works. The true stars: Mercury, Venus, Saturn, the Moon, the Sun, and so forth. Uh, so what they're doing is they're taking, when they push these Nibiru conspiracies, they're taking the glory away from God, and they're mirroring it back. They're using Nibiru as a mirror to mirror, God's wrath back at his saints. Guys, it's really dark occult stuff, but I've got an article right here to teach you guys where the conspiracy theory about Nibiru came from. All right, guys. If you aren't familiar with Nibiru, also known as Planet X, well then, it's time for you to get enlightened. This will be the 6th time over the past 3 years I've written about the hidden planet Nibiru. A hidden planet that once appears will signify the apocalypse of planet Earth is nigh. Alright guys, and they've been preaching this stuff for years and it never came to pass. But here's the scoop. Okay, this is where it originated from, guys. So if you're watching these Nibiru videos, this is what you're agreeing with here, okay? Nibiru, also known as Wormwood or Planet X, was first discovered by a woman named Nancy Leader in 1995, who claimed to have the ability to receive messages from extraterrestrials from the Zeta Reticuli star system through an implant in her brain. Okay, and he goes on to say, it's true, look it up. Impressive, right? It's being sarcastic. Well, according to her, something called the Nibiru cataclysm was supposed to occur in 2003, where the rogue planet, which is anywhere from 4 to 10 times the size of Earth, would be involved in a massive extinction level collision with our planet. And while Armageddon timetable for Nibiru has been more than a little fluid, it was also supposed to happen again in 2012, 2017, 2018, and 2019. Guys, this prophecy is never going to get fulfilled because it's all just lies, and it's smoke and mirrors and like really dark occult stuff, guys. Nibiru only orbits our sun and passes by our planet once every 3,600 years, so there's a certain margin of error with predictions such as this. So that's what they always use as an excuse, when it doesn't happen. Oh, well, our timetable is just a little bit off, just keep waiting and it'll happen. But I wanted to go over Acts chapter 7 here, because Stephen, the same thing was going on back then. This is Molech worship. So if you look up Molech in the grimoires, he's known as Lucifuge Raphael. Okay, and Lucifuge is the scribe of hell. All right, guys. So you'll see like some of these pastors, some of these end times prophets will write down people's names after the show, and that's what that's all about. But this is Acts chapter 7. He's talking about it right here. They told Aaron, make us gods who will go before us. And this is talking about the golden calf, guys. This was Molech worship. As for this Moses, who brought us out of the land of Egypt, we don't know what happened to him. They even made a calf in those days, offered sacrifice to the idol, and were celebrating what their hands had made. Okay, it's all the works of their own hands. God turned away, because like I said, guys, they don't want to give the glory to God. God turned away and gave them up to worship the stars of heaven, as it is written in the book of the prophets. And then he goes on to say, this is a quote from the book of the prophets. House of Israel, did you bring me offerings and sacrifices for 40 years in the wilderness? You took up the tent of Molech, and the star of your god Rephan. I think this is the book of Amos. The images that you made to worship. So I will send you into exile beyond Babylon. But that's the truth behind Nibiru, guys. So I wanted to clear that up because we're starting to see a lot of real signs in heaven. There's some more that I've got on log, and I'll release them, at the right time. So I just wanted to make a distinction between the false signs and the true signs, guys. Go read Corinthians chapter 15 if you want to get some more insight, into how their trickery works, because it goes over the glory of the true hosts of heaven. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. You've been watching Christ News Network.